It's still preparing, still preparing, still preparing. Okay, done.
So welcome everyone to the May Peace Prevail on Earth Convergence Room during World Unity Week. We are delighted to welcome Peter Regina, who is going to give us an experience, a collective experience of peace today as he shares Peace Lights. Pete is the co-creator of Peace Lights and the founder of Project Peace Lights. And Pete, it's been such a joy over the years, actually, to cooperate with you, work with you. Thank you for all you do to create the conditions for a culture of peace. Welcome. We look forward to your sharing.
Thank you so much, Dot. Thank you, Fumi, and all the organizers. Tez, Avon, thank you for your help in organizing and pulling this together and giving me the right sorts of thoughts. It has been a number of years, and it's been a beautiful journey. I really consider this group of people and all the associated people as an extended family at this point.
Nice.
And we're all doing work in the same vein and in the same direction. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to talking about what has happened on the Project Peace Lights and the Peace Lights journey. So we only have 15 minutes. So let me jump in and share screen. I'm going to start though, before I share screen, let me start by just pointing out the Peace Lights, which is right next to me on the screen here. These colors, it's just a piece of art. And I'll talk a little bit about the background, but the colors that you see represent the different cultures of the world. And the motion represents how those cultures interact and work together to achieve harmony and peace and energy. You'll see the words Peace Lights come up in 55 different languages. And Peace Lights plays all over the world. Wherever it plays, people are encouraged to project their own thoughts and intents into the lights. So there's this collective energy, and that collective energy goes back even before it was Peace Lights. People used to stop on the street and comment on the energy. So let me go ahead and share screen right now. You should be able to see my screen. Is that correct? All right, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
World Unity Week. Okay, very good. All right, let's go. Let me start talking about education, because Project Peace Light is about accelerating peace education, and I'll describe that a little bit. Education is the most powerful tool we can use to change the world, and that is a very accurate sentence, I believe. And it's from Nelson Mandela, and a lot of the work that we're doing is in the African Union, so that's why I kept that up. Next slide here. Okay, talking about Peace Lights and how the journey to Project Peace Lights happens. I heard someone mention before about there being a divine element in the journey, and that's the way I feel about my life and this journey that I'm going to describe to you today. So in 2009, I started shooting light. I have an artistic thing going. I used to make holograms, 3D photography. But with these light photos, I connected with Eileen Cohen, now Eileen Felix, who was my partner in working on all these light shows in 2014. 2015 was the United Nations International Year of Light. And this is coming off a really good year where we did 3 shows at the Cotton Club, Governor's Island, the TED Conference, the opening for the Month of Peace in New York City, and a number of other things. And we were very honored in 2015 to be the invited artist projectionist for the opening of the International Year of Light and light-based technologies. We brought with us this predecessor to Peace Lights that we used to call drapes. And that's the bit that people used to stop on the street and comment about the energy of drapes and how it was just such a nice feeling. So we brought that in, and it was very well received. So we brought it again the next month to a meeting at the New York Peace Coalition, where we were getting an award for helping them out with a concert that they did. At that event, Drapes was playing in the corner, and the Sheikh, who's the chairman of the New York Peace Coalition, came up to me, Sheikh Musa Drame, and he said, "Peter, such good energy in that corner. Everyone loves the lights." And just in conversation, I looked up at him and I said, "Sheikh, what about a video like that as a symbol of good energy or peace or something like that?" His whole demeanor changed. He looked down at me and he said, "Peter, we have not had a new symbol of peace in more than a generation. we've been looking for a visual symbol because we're visual creatures to provide solidarity for actions of peace around the world. So coming back to New Jersey that evening from the Bronx, I had this thought, called up Eileen. She gave me the thumbs up, called back to Shake, and I said, Shake, here's what we propose. The New York Peace Coalition commissions Pete and Eileen for free to remaster drapes into peace lights. And that symbolism is what I described before. We delivered it to the New York Peace Coalition in April of 2015. And very shortly after that, it started playing all over the world. It's now been adopted by peace organizations from 19 countries as their international symbol of peace and nonviolence. I seem to be stuck on this slide for a moment. What's going on? All right, for some reason, we're seeing the yoga. There we go. It's played at the United Nations nearly 40 times now between the main exhibit halls, and we were asked to be on display for a month in one of the buildings and in the General Assembly Hall. And every month we would play at the Jazz Night. So here's some pieces. Let me go to the next slide. I'm not going to show this video. So the story really accelerates when Peace Lights is invited to an event honoring this woman. Claudette Colvin was the 15-year-old girl who got arrested on the bus 9 months before Rosa Parks. Turns out that 2 years after that happened in 1955, she was still getting death threats as a 17-year-old, had a small kid by then, and moved to the Bronx. They found her in the Bronx. They wanted to honor her. So they invited Peace Lights. And her story, you know, I was asked to speak, and I didn't know really her story. And the whole point of her story is that she knew her rights. Just as Claudette Colvin, just as Rosa Parks got arrested on the bus, Claudette Colvin was coming home from school with 13 of her friends. And she was at the first 5 rows were whites only. What happened in Montgomery and what was going on was if the white section filled up, they would kick out some more people, even if they had to stand. That was not legal. So a white woman was left standing on the bus. They told row 6, the bus driver told row 6 to get up. Claudette Colvin kept her seat. And knowing her right, she said, it's my constitutional right to sit here. I paid my fare. And she didn't get up. A girl in the front of the bus told her, hey, you know, you got to get up, girl. To which a friend of hers said, she don't got to do nothing, stay black and die. So there was tension on this bus. Bus went 2 more stops before a police officer came on, berated her, dragged her off the bus. All the while, she's saying it's my constitutional rights. Her actions, those actions catalyzed the NAACP and led directly to Rosa Parks' arrest, led directly to the planning for the Montgomery bus boycott, which, by the way, not many people realize took over 6 months to plan that boycott. So the way we learn it in school is Rosa Parks got arrested and then the bus boycott was the response. Well, no, that's not really how it happened, because the planning for the bus boycott was all catalyzed by Claudette Colvin. So I got her book when I met her, and I saw in her book that I was going to talk about her is that she's credited with accelerating the change in the plight of colored people because of her timing and her subsequent effect on the time. The very first thing that Martin Luther King ever did outside the church, as a 26-year-old parish, the first publicly facing thing he ever did was to organize and raise funds for the defense of Claudette Colvin. No one knows any of this stuff, but this is all important history. So she's accelerating the change in the plight of colored people. I'm an engineer, right? Accelerating a change is a second derivative, mathematically. Interesting territory. So I typed in plight of colored people 1955 into Google. And the first thing that came up was about all the lynchings. I had an epiphany. You could say that the plight of colored people in 1955 could be measured in deaths per day. Now, eventually, that went down. If she accelerated the change, what that means is that she took this curve and she pushed it to the left. Not planned, not knowing, but her actions, because she knew her rights, affected this timeline as such. Now, what that turned out to be is there's this group of people that are represented by this blue hash here that are people who didn't die. So I said that. I said, our guest of honor today at the Bronx Public Library literally saved lives by doing what she did. So after that, I was approached by somebody that day. Said, Mr. Regina, no one has ever told her story that way. Would you mind telling that story the exact way you told it to the ambassador from the African Union to the United Nations? And I said, sure, I'd be honored to do that. A month later, it was right over, December 1st was that day. So right after New Year, I was walking into the African Union here in New York City to meet with Ambassador Adonia Ibarit from Uganda, the Ambassador for Peace and Security from the African Union. Now, for those of you who don't know, the African Union is 55 nations, 1.3 billion people. And of course, I did a little homework beforehand and we had a great discussion. The thing that struck out at me with this whole story that I told him was that it wasn't just Claudette Colvin that saved lives that day. It was the people who helped to prepare her for that moment in time, like her teacher who took time out of teaching the class to teach them about the Magna Carta, the Constitution, etc. So if you say that Claudette Colvin literally saved lives, which is a totally legitimate and accepted way of telling her story, especially when you tell it like this, then by extension, you could say that her teacher, her teachers saved lives by preparing her, by giving her the knowledge. And in a broader sense, it was the content that was taught that made the difference. And that content would fall under the umbrella of, not fully defined, but fall under the umbrella of peace education. That's the first part of this story. The second part was when the ambassador said, you know, you have an interesting business background and just perspective. I don't meet with people like you a lot. I'm meeting with world leaders and so on. He says, would you mind looking at a document and giving me your opinion, reviewing it and giving me your opinion? So I said, I'd be honored to do that. A couple minutes later, he handed me Agenda 2063, the 50-year plan for the African Union. I was kind of taken aback, but I went off and I studied that document, and it's a beautiful document with 7 beautiful aspirations, the fourth of which, and I'm looking for things that related to Claudette Colvin when I'm reading this whole document. I went online and studied things. The fourth aspiration of 7 is for a peaceful and secure Africa. And the words specifically under that say, a culture of peace and tolerance shall be nurtured in Africa's children and youth through peace education. I read the entire document, studied online, implementation plans, strategic development goals, etc. There was no other mention of peace education in that entire document. So when I went back to the ambassador, I said, this is a beautiful document, but arguably you have missed the point on what is arguably the most important part of this whole 50-year plan. Without inculcating these ideas of peace, this knowledge, this education, this wisdom about peace from the earliest of ages in a curriculum, you're missing the boat. And the fastest growing portion of the population of your 1.3 billion people are newborns. It's expected that by 2050, there'll be more working people in Africa than there are in all of Asia today, China and the rest of Asia. So you got to do something about it. And there was no plan. There was no, and to this day, there is no concerted activity across all the 55 nations, with the exception of what Project Peace Lights is doing, to pull together this notion for the entire African Union. So this is what I'm going to end my talk in the last 5 or so minutes to talk about. After that, I met this guy, Dr. Mamadou Dramé. Turns out he has chaired Pan-African curriculum development working groups. He laid it out. Hey, this is how you do it, ABC. And it was pretty straightforward, actually. You know, when you look at it, he said, you have 3 meetings. You get 2 delegates from every country. And you have a first meeting in, say, South Africa. You do ABCDE, second meeting in Senegal, third meeting in Addis. And when you're done, you have a curriculum that you can roll out for primary and secondary. But the ambassador, when I took this back to him, I said, here's your guy. It's only $5.5 million. We modeled it, the whole thing. He said, you know, you can't drive that down into the tribes. This is a challenge that you have. One of the challenges that was stopping us from even getting engaged is that you have to figure out a way to visit every tribe in every country in Africa. So I left that meeting with my tail between my legs. I'm just a guy from New Jersey. You know, what do I know about visiting tribes in Africa, right? But again, the universe provides. You know, I find myself just stepping along stones that people are placing in front of me. A woman from Kenya named Jennifer Onomo came up to me at an event that Peace Lights was playing at. She took my hand and she looked me in the eye and said, "Peter, you're doing God's work, my son. But they're right. You do have to visit every tribe. But here's how you do it. Don't worry, my son. You get teams of 3, a retired teacher because they're respected, a retired doctor, and then a retired government worker. They visit the tribes, and they're not selling them on peace education. They're bringing with them food and drink and hosting a day of discussion on peace education. The food and drink will ensure that the elders will come. And importantly, you set these meetings up through the women's and children's coordinators in each tribe. And every tribe in every country in Africa have women's and children's coordinators. And it's consistent with Resolution 1325 of the United Nations, which specifically says that women should be taking a more active role in matters of peace, especially relating to longstanding peace. So we modeled that, you know, and I've been getting challenges, you know, well, how can you develop a curriculum if you don't even know what peace education means? You know, it's an ill-defined term. My response to that has always been, now that we have a process that we can actually do, we need to get funding to do it, but at least we have a way to connect the dots to get to a curriculum. We know that peace education is not 100 different things. It's a dozen things, maybe 20 things that a curriculum development working group with inputs from tribes can get their arms around and define. Things like tolerance and respect, customs, cultures, religions, peace documents, media influences on peace, a very important one. Inner peace, a very important one. So no matter what these topics that are defined by Africans for Africa wind up being, we know also that they will all sit on a foundation of human rights. So this is not as huge a piece, a process as I think many people think it might be. Dalai Lama says, when educating the minds of our youth, we must not forget to educate their hearts. And that is a very important aspect to what I think this will bring to the rest of the African continent and help move them in a direction of more of a culture of peace. A year ago, February 2020, Project
Peter?
Peace Lights was officially formed as an NGO, and we have been operating. We were going to launch, but then COVID hit. And that's when we started to focus, rather than on the launch of Project Peace Lights around the world, building the capacity in each country to organize and set up the days of discussion. So the mission is to
Peter?
accelerate the timeline for the
Excuse
definition.
me, Peter?
Yes.
Excuse me? We just need time for the peace wave.
You
And
got it.
so
You got
we're
it.
running over. This is
No
great.
worries.
Really. Yeah,
I-
so if you'd
I
be
have
so
an
kind
end
as
here.
to wrap up, that would be wonderful.
No worries at all. This is actually my second to last slide. We're in 30 countries right now, and the summary is that our goal is to bring peace to the African Union in the form of this peace education curriculum. And with that, I say thank you, and let me stop sharing. And once again, thank you to all of the organizers of this great event. I'm looking forward to the Peace Wave, and thanks again for being part. If you want to take part or help out, please contact me. You can go to projectpeacelights.org, and we'll be around for the rest of the session. Thanks again.
Thank you, Peter. And so with that, and we have some additional folks coming in, I'd like to just turn it over to our dear Avon Madison, who's going to be accompanied today by our harpist, our harpist Tammy Briggs. And so Avon, are you there? Avon?
Yes, I was muted.
Okay, we're just going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. That was so inspiring and just very substantive. We are entering into a daily peace wave that it has been occurring since 1982 at noon in every time zone. And it is a unitive focus point where we know that personal and planetary peace are inseparable, as are our local and global peace. And I will begin with reading something that was prepared by people from all over the world many long years ago, and it's called Imagine a World, where governments respect human rights of all their citizens and settle disputes by the rule of law for the common good, where all people have food, shelter, and access to medical care, and children are born into and raised by healthy families and communities, where literacy and education for all are accomplished facts, where economic practices create well-being for all stakeholders, including communities and the living environment, where beauty, the arts, and media inspire the best in all people and support the common good, where the benefits of science and technology enhance all circles of life, where tolerance and appreciation of diverse beliefs is the rule, spiritual practice is encouraged, and reverence for life fostered, where the earth and all her natural beauty is treasured and its resources understood and cared for sustainably and regeneratively for this and future generations. This is a world at peace. You are a pathway to peace. We now enter into a minute of silence. May peace prevail on earth. This daily peace wave at noon in every time zone is called the Peace Wave, Minute of Silence, Moment of Peace, to demonstrate that this is an action that every one of us can take to build the consciousness and actions of peace every day through our thoughts, words, and actions. Thank you. And bless you, Tammy, for your beautiful, beautiful music.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So beautiful. So at this point, we are going to turn it over to the next presentation. And I will take Katie, I'm going to take you out of being a co-host. And there we are. Back to you, Fumi.
Thank you so much, Peter, for peace lights, blessing us with the lights of peace. And thank you, Avon Madison, for leading us into the peace wave, which you have been promoting since 1982. Thank you so much, Avon, Madison, and Tez, and all of the Peace Waves team. Thank you so much. Blessings to Pathways to Peace, everyone who makes this just a beautiful project for the world. And now we're moving right into, we still have a little time, but I think we will move right into introducing our next presenter and have her say a few words of welcome. And that is, I'm going to spotlight her. Where is she? Let's see. Again, let me find her. Oh, Dot. Am I able to spotlight? Yes. Here she is. Oh, this is my dear friend. Caroline Uchima. Add spotlight. There we are. Oh, I'm trying to get both of us on the screen. There we go. Thank you. Hi, Caroline. And what? Look at this. She's tuning in all the way from Scotland, standing at the World Peace Sanctuary at we call the Arlington Sanctuary in Scotland. And she will tell us all about where she is. And so on to you, Caroline.
Hi, Fumi. Hi. Lovely to listen to beautiful harp music, and lovely to join you all here today. So this is Arlington Peace Sanctuary in Scotland. We are one of 3 sanctuaries situated around the world. And at the moment we are in, we are in the Peace Pole Henge. And as you probably know, one of the main projects of the May Peace Prevail on Earth International is the Peace Pole Project. So we decided in Arlington Sanctuary to marry our ancient heritage with the Peace Pole. So we have a Peace Pole henge here. And I'm going to try and show you. We have a henge of 200 peace poles, a double circle, and it's very, very powerful in here, the energy. I hope you can see that. So we're actually on a very strong and powerful ley line that runs all the way from Callanish, from the north of Scotland, all the way down through Glastonbury, Avebury, and also across Scotland from Ireland to Europe. And this Peace Pole henge, I wish you could be here because it's there's a very, very special and powerful, peaceful resonance in here. So we're very happy to join you all today. You can see the peace pole we have in the middle is "May peace be in our homes and communities," which is the absolute essence and the most important thing in all of our homes and communities, in ourselves. So for me, I'm not quite sure how the timing is going, like when we can start our little program. So since we still have a little bit of time.
Yes, we do. And
okay.
So please begin. We're on Facebook Live, so we're not stopping. We're just going right into your program. And again, welcome everyone to the May Peace Prevail on Earth room. This is Caroline Uchima, live from Scotland, Arlington Sanctuary. And she will lead us into the next program, Divine Spark in Mudras from Scotland Sanctuary. So you can begin anytime, Caroline.
Okay, thank you. So Since we were established in '98 and have been doing world peace prayers every day, every morning, every evening. But since lockdown, since the pandemic, it's been a blessing because we've been able to pray with our colleagues and our friends and our soul family all over the world. So it's so nice that you're able to join us today. So we do this little 15-minute program every day at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. UK time. And it's actually 7 divine sparkings or mudras. And an in is a blessing of the sacred breath with sacred movement. And we invite you to join us, to follow us. And if you would like to learn this in, there are some opportunities to do that. You can ask Bumi. So let's just start our 15-minute daily. We're so happy that you can join us today. So. Okay, so we always start the prayer in something we call the Oneness Meditation. So we invite you to ground yourself on the earth, 4 corners of the feet, relax your shoulders, notice the breath, and close your eyes. Visualize, imagine that we are holding hands encompassing the earth, this sacred earth, from north to south, east to west, with love, light, healing, purifying energy. As we say together, we are melting into a circle of light. May peace prevail on earth. Let's say that together. We are melting
into
a circle of light. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. And now let's do the World Peace Prayer together. So today we'll do the prayer, we'll do the meditation in Japanese and English, and we'll also do a prayer for all of our sanctuaries around the world, the sanctuary that each of us holds in our hearts, wherever we may be, and also those important spots around the world that hold this important, critical peace energy. Right. 世界人類が平和でありますように。日本が平和でありますように。私たちの天命が全うされますように。守護霊様、ありがとうございます。守護神様、ありがとうございます。May peace prevail on earth. May peace be in our homes and countries. May our missions be accomplished. We thank you, guardian deities, guardian spirits. May peace prevail on earth. May peace be in all our sanctuaries around the world. May our sanctuaries' missions be accomplished. We thank you, guardian deities and guardian spirits. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. So before we do the Eanes, I'd like to read you a little thing. What is a divine spark? A divine spark is something that all of us, all human beings, have within us, no matter where we come from, what faith we believe in, or what language we speak. None of those differences matter. All of us have the same divine spark within us. Our divine spark is what connects us to the bigger source, the universe. It is perfect and it's shining and bright. It's the infinite love, forgiveness, happiness, harmony, healing, and wisdom that reside within us. And we can use all this inner power to imagine and create the reality that we want to see on earth. Thank you. So we also have another little kotodama that we say, and a kotodama is an affirmation of powerful words. And this one is, whatever may arise from the past. Whatever may arise from the past, I have no past. Whatever choices I have of my own will, I let go of the past. Through this decision, I have no past. I am the creator of my life, and it's up to me to choose. I have the power to decide. I stop empowering my past. As a creator, I have infinite possibilities. I hold only infinite love, only infinite divinity. From this moment on, I stop attaching myself to the past. From now on, I shine light on my divinity. We give power only to divinity, creating a sacred future for the self and humanity. So from this spot in the middle of our peace pole hinge, we are going to do 7 divine spark Eanes, mudras, and with the power, with our creative divine power, create a sacred future for all mankind. So if you would like to take a moment to send healing, love and light to anyone, any issues, anything that's dear in your heart, just take a moment. And now we're going to do 7 divine spark Eanes, mudras. Beginning with a declaration, the divinity of humanity is reawakened. The divinity of humanity is reawakened. So for the first mudra, Eane, I will read a narration and maybe you can follow through me, and then we will do the mudras together. Is that okay for me? Very good. 1. While inhaling, we concentrate with our whole being. While exhaling, we empty the mind. We invite divinity from heaven. The true self radiates light. We receive divinity from heaven and anchor this light on earth. This divinity resides within ourselves. All is harmonized within. We send divine light to all humanity. This light spreads to every human being. All humanity resonates with the vibration of divinity and recalls our essential divine nature. All human beings are divine life itself. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you. Now we invite you to do another mudra, and this mudra is a gratitude to the earth, to the sacred earth. Gratitude to the earth. On behalf of humanity, we thank you, divinities who govern the earth. Dear earth, we thank you. And for the sun, to honor this special solstice time. Gratitude to the sun. On behalf of humanity, we thank you, divinities who govern the sun. Dear sun, we thank you. And the final completion, final Kotodama, the final affirmation. All is perfect and complete. Nothing is lacking. Perfectly accomplished. Daijoju. Daijoju means so be it. Accomplished. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Our daily prayers. And we thought while we're here today, we could do an in for each continent. Is that okay, Fumi? We have time?
Yes, we do, Caroline. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. So I thought, even though the peace poles in the peace pole henge are not in continent order, they're in alphabetical order. But we'll do an in for each continent to send our wish for the best, the highest best for each of our continents around the world. And I thought we could start from the north, the magnetic north, and then move to northeast, east, and we'll just move round the henge. And the henge is perfectly aligned with magnetic north, south, east, west. So let's start then. So I'm going to face. No, I won't. I'll just do that. So just behind me is magnetic north. And we're going to start with the continent of Europe. May peace be in Europe. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to Europe. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in Europe is reawakened. So be it. Daijoju. Now we do the divine spark in. Hai. Thank you from Europe. Now we move on to Africa. May peace be in Africa. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to Africa. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in Africa is reawakened. Daijoju. So be it. Accomplished. Right. Thank you from Africa. Now, East. Middle East. May peace be in the Middle East. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to the Middle East. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in the Middle East is reawakened. Daijoju. Divine Sparking. Right? Thank you from the Middle East. Now, Asia. May peace be in Asia. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to Asia. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in Asia is reawakened. Dai Jo Ju. Divine Spark E. Right. Thank you from Asia. We have south, magnetic south behind us. Oceania. May peace be in Oceania. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to Oceania. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in Oceania is reawakened. Dai Jo Ju. Divine Spark in light. Thank you from Oceania. South America. May peace be in South America. May peace be in all these countries. We send the light of the universal source to South America. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in South America is reawakened. Dai Jo Ju. Divine Spark in. Right. Thank you. From South America. North and Central America. May peace be in North and Central America. May peace be in all these countries. Send the light of the universal source to North and Central America. May perfect peace be in all these countries. The divinity of all the people in North and Central America is reawakened. Dai Joju. And the divine spark in, light. Thank you from North and South Central America. The last of the regions, all the other regions of the world. May peace be in all the other regions of the world. May peace be in all these regions and with all these people. All the indigenous nations in all the continents, the Arctic and the Antarctica, all the other regions of the world, all our unique and wonderful diversity. We send the light of the universal source to all these regions in the world. May perfect peace be in all these regions and with all these peoples. The divinity of all these peoples is reawakened. Dai Joju. Divine spark. In height. Thank you. Infinite gratitude. So we finish by saying, may peace prevail on earth 3 times together. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. Thank you, Fumi.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for bringing the energy and frequencies of all the peace work you do from Scotland Sanctuary, the Arlington Sanctuary in Scotland, to us here at World Unity Week and to the world. Thank you so much. And really, thank you all for joining. I see some new faces here that really followed us in performing the Yin together. Infinite gratitude to all of you. Caroline does hold workshops to teach the Yin and Mudra. So if you're interested, please put your email in the chat for all of us. We can follow up with you. This program, hosted by Caroline from Arlington Sanctuary in Scotland, will be hosted again tomorrow, Thursday, and also on Friday the 25th at the same time, 12:15 Eastern time here in the United States. So please join us again. And before we leave, I'd like to invite all of you. I'm going to invite all of you to, how do I do this, Dot? Invite everyone to go unmute so we can say 3 times together, may peace prevail on earth. Dot, I need your help.
Okay, we can do this. Hold on.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. All right, everyone can now unmute. Unmute. There we go. Go ahead, Fumi. And
Okay,
if you
let's
put
say
it on gallery. Put it on
let's put it on
gallery.
gallery so we can all
Yes,
see each
please.
other. And at the 1, 2, 3, we'll say, may peace prevail on earth 3 times together. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Shafia, for sharing your email. We'll be in touch with you. And I'm going to go off Facebook Live now. Thank you, everyone from the
Much love, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.